It is a beautiful rainy Sunday today, and I say it's beautiful because I love the rain, but I want to do a little bit different video for today. And the reason is because I feel like this is a very important, I guess not very important, but I think it's knowledge that is kind of fun to have. If you have a kid working in the retail business, anything where they are dealing with a customer and giving money back, it is very important to have this, in my opinion. I like knowing that I know how to give change back without using a computer or a calculator, anything to tell me how much money to give back. So today's video is going to be how to count change back. Now, I showed a little bit of how to close out a drawer on our last video, but today's is going to be about counting change back. So it's a how-to video. So if you have kids or if you work in the retail industry and you don't know how to count change back, this is for you. Share it with all the people who work in retail and are cashiers. This is something that you can show off that you know how to do. Okay, so let's get started on counting change back. Now, I also teach all of my girls how to do this. Do they do it? I don't think so, but I want them to at least have the knowledge of how to do it. I honestly never look at the screen when somebody gives me cash to give them change back. I never look to see if I'm right because I know I'm right. It's just adding up to the dollar amount of which they gave you. Okay, so we're gonna learn how to do that right now. First thing you want to do when you receive your drawer from wherever you get it. So say you work at Walmart and you're opening up for the day and they give you your drawer to take out to your station. Even though it seems like Walmart only ever has one cashier open. We're not going to discuss that today though, but you always want to count your drawer to make sure there's the right amount that is in here. So every day when my girls bring down the cash drawer, there is always supposed to be $200 in here, always. So we're going to count that to make sure that we have $200, and you start with the change. So if we had pennies, which we don't, I make sure everything is in fives or zeros, that the number ends in a 5 or a 0, which it always ends in a 0 usually anyway. But you would start with the pennies and add those up. If there was an odd number that does not equal a 5 or a 0 at the end of it, you set that aside, okay? We're gonna start with our nickels first because we have some. Some kids come in with usually dimes and nickels because that's what they find laying around the camper, or that's what their mom gives them, is just some loose change. So we have 4 nickels right now, and that is going to be 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, so that ends in a 5 or a 0, so we're good there. So that was 20. We go on to the dimes. 30, 40, 50. We're good. That equals 50 cents, or at least a increment of money that would be good to add quarters to. So since that's 50, I'm going to grab 2 quarters and we're going to put those. That gives us $1 right here. Now we're going to move on to the quarters and we're going to put these in increments of $1. So since it's from last night, it's kind of already evened up a little bit. We got 1, and I put them in stacks in here. So now we have $1, we have $2, $3, $4. That's good. Now somebody has already come in today, so I'm gonna take out that money because we're starting our shift. We've got $4 in change right here. $5. That's good because our next dollar amount is going to be a 5. So we're going to start with 5 already because that's what we have of everything else. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100, 5, 10. So $110 right now. And it has to equal a 0 because we're going into the tens. And I can't have like 105 and then 115. It's not going to add up to 200 then. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Good, because the next dollar amount is a 20. And 20s go 2, 4, 6, 8, or 20, 40, 60, 80. So I should have 2, getting us to 200. 160, 180, 200. Perfect. Okay, so we have our starting dollar amount. We're all good. Now, I'm going to say that our Arizona teas are $2. They gave us a 10. Okay? Now, yes, that is $8. And a lot of people could do that because it's just simple math. 10 minus 2 is 8. But I would just want you to get the basic understanding of how we're counting change back. Okay? So, we start with 2 because that's what they were charged. 3, 4, 5. We get to that next dollar amount. Does that make sense? So we started with $2. So we're going to start with the $1 to get us up to increments of 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay? So 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you can either grab 5 more ones, say they wanted all ones if they asked for it. Most of the time you would give them a 5, equaling 10, $8. Okay? Next, we're going to do, let's do $2.75. They came in and bought some candy. The kid gives you a $5 bill. Okay? So, we are going to start with the change. Okay? You start with the change. Anytime there's change involved, you start with the change. You never start with the dollars. Okay? This is going to make it so simple. Let's put this back. When you close your drawer out, or when you open your drawer, make sure you put all of your change back if you've done it like this. I very frequently find the girls, they leave their different piles. It's totally fine, but just so that you're not in a rush, or like say you get a rush, you don't want all that there. So we're going to start with the change. We're going to build up to our next dollar. And our next dollar, since we have $2.75, we're going to build up to 3. And 1/4 will get us to $3. This is $3 because we are adding 25 cents onto $2.75. So $3, and then the next dollar, or the next coin, or currency, I guess, I don't know what you want to call it, whatever, you're going to grab a dollar bill. So we've got 3, 4, 5. $2.25 is their change. Okay, let's do $4.25, and they have given us a $10 bill. Okay, so we always start with our change. We have $4.25. We're going to add on to $4.25. $4.50, $75, $5. We are at $5 right now. You can either grab 5 ones or a $5 bill. Their change now is $5.75. Now, something else to think about when you are handing a girl or a female her change, goes like this. You give it to them with the dollar on the bottom, because the girls are going to take it and they're going to dump that into their coin thing. They're going to dump that into their coin purse or into their wallet with it, and then they're going to put the dollar in their wallet. Whereas males or guys, you give it to them like this, because they're going to go like this, put this in their wallet, and then put this into their pocket. Okay, just a fun little thing to think about. Somebody taught me that, I want to say a year or two ago. It was frequent, very frequently when they told me that, and I've thought about it ever since. So there's a little fun tip for you. Okay, let's get to something a bit harder. One more. $7.50, and they gave you a 20. Okay, so once again, we're going to start with our change. $7.50, 8, 9, 10, 20. Okay, let's add some nickels and dimes into this. So we have $1.65. They gave us, let's just do $2. Okay. Now we're going to start with the nickels or the dimes. Now I would do a dime because that gets us up to 75 cents. So I've got $1.65 plus 10, $1.75, meaning now all I have to grab is a quarter and 35 cents is their change. This adds up to $2 when we add $1.65 plus 35 cents. Okay? 20 cents. Okay, they bought a bubble gum or whatever. Let's get up, and they give us $1. Okay, 20. I'm gonna grab the dimes. 30, 40, 50. I got up to the next biggest coin. I'm gonna grab 2 of those. 80 cents. That was pretty simple. Bit harder. Let's do 3.70, and they gave you $10. Okay, 3.70. What is our next coin that we're going to grab? I'm going to grab a nickel because that's going to get me up to 3.75 now. 3.75 and another quarter is going to give me $4. I'm now going to grab which bill? $1, because that's going to get us up to $5. These coins are $4, $5. They gave us a 10, so I'm going to grab a 5. Now this was going to a gentleman, so how are you going to give them their money back? You're going to put the coins in the hand first and then hand them the dollar bills. $8.15, and they gave us a 20. This was a lady too. So 15 cents. You can either grab 2 nickels or a dime. How many quarters am I going to give them? There's a nickel in there. 3 quarters gets us up to $9 now. Now I'm going to grab which dollar bills first? The 1, the 5, the 10? The 1. Now I can either grab 2 5s or 1 10. If you are in the restaurant business and you're a waitress, you always try to give smaller bills, so that way they feel more inclined that they could leave you a tip that way. So this was a lady. I'm going to put the money in my hand, the bills in my hand, the coins on top. Next, we're going to do a $50 bill. They bought $27.10 worth of stuff. They gave us a 50. Okay, we've got 10 cents. I'm going to build up to what coin amount? 25 cents. So the way I'm going to build up, we've got 20, 25. Now I'm going to grab 3/4, giving us $28. I'm going to grab the 1, 28, 29, 30. If I were in the restaurant business, I would then give them a 10 and 2 5s, okay? Because that's $20. Because 30, we're getting to 50. We want to give smaller change so that maybe they give you a $6 tip. Maybe they give you a $7 tip. Maybe they give you 2 5s, a 10, whatever the case. If you're just working here or at Walmart per se, I would grab a 20. Okay, this was a gentleman that came in and bought this. So how am I going to put this in their hands? I'm going to put the coins in their palm first and then the dollar bills on top. $17.95, and they gave you a 50. What coin are we going to start with first? The nickel. That gets us up to what dollar? 18. Got $18 now. Am I going to grab the 1, the 5, the 10, or the 20 first? The 1. So we have 18 right here. 19, 20. Now, am I going to grab the 5, the 10, or the 20? We're going to grab the 10. That gets us up to what? We were at 20, we are now at 30. You can go ahead and grab a 20 to get you to 50. Now, that is not something that you just learn overnight. It will take you time, especially if you've got a long line of customers. It's okay. Just tell them you're learning to count change back. That it is something that you've been working on, but I would just keep it at, I'm learning to count change back. It might take me a second. I think they would appreciate you wanting to learn a new skill, even though it's not a skill that you might use for your whole life. Like me, I'm always going to be doing this, well, until the Lord tells me to do something else. But I think it's fun. It's a fun fact that you can tell about yourself. If you're doing the game, 2 truths and a lie, it can be 1, or 2 lies and a truth, whatever it is. This is one that you can add, and I think it's awesome. I love seeing that people can do this. It's just fun. So show this to your kids. Maybe this is the next homeschool lesson that you're going to be doing. I'm trying to do it with Sawyer and his homeschool lessons, and I'm going to be working on my girls a little bit more this year with that. Learning to count change back. It's so fun. I love doing it, and I know I'm right. Is that arrogant? A little bit too much confidence? I don't know. Either way, I hope you have a great day. Go out and be a light to somebody else, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.